Well, the Fred Hollows Foundation has next year been in existence for 20 years. It was set up in late 1992, and unfortunately Fred passed away in February 93, soon thereafter. It's a curious beast, the Fred Hollows Foundation. I mean, it is very much about Fred. It's very much about the inspiration of Fred Hollows. Fred was a brilliant surgeon, but he was also a social activist. And he was arrested in the anti-apartheid demonstrations here in Sydney in the 70s. He led the National Trachoma and Eye Health program, which went all over Australia. And when he came back, he didn't just talk about eyes. He talked about inequality. He talked about racism. He talked about the need for Indigenous communities to take control of their own services. And he was a great advocate of establishing the first Aboriginal medical service here in Redfern, and one of the people who was involved in that. There are about 40 million people who are blind. 80% of them don't have to be. We can fix it.
After just 24 hours, when the bandages come off, miracles really happen. The blind can see.
I'm very glad because I can see. Now I am cured. God bless you.
90% of blind people are in the developing world. That tells you straight away this is not a medical question. This is about development. This is about access, about affordability, about appropriate services being delivered. Here in Australia, we have a broader remit than just eye health. So we do work in eye health with Indigenous communities. But when we first went to those communities, they said to us, look, eyes are important, but there are some other things. There's some things about survival. There's things about us controlling our own affairs. So work with us on literacy, work with us on governance, work with us on health. And one of the things they were very clear on was work with us to make our kids healthier, help us around the issue of nutrition. Now that's exactly where the project that the firm is sponsoring fits in. The Sprinkles project, or the Sprinkles initiative, is an attempt to intervene with kids at a very early stage, from 6 months on, to provide a nutritional supplement. I mean, one of the problems we find, particularly in remote communities, is anemia levels amongst kids are very high. Now, you might say, well, what does that mean? Well, what it actually means is kids fail to thrive. Right? They fail to grow healthy bodies, and they fail to grow healthy minds. So by the time a kid is 5 and turns up at school, the kid's not ready to learn. The kid can't learn. Right? The kid hasn't developed their mind, their brain hasn't developed, physically they haven't developed, and they're not ready. And so we're putting them into a system which they're already it has already been biologically predetermined that they're going to fail in. The ultimate goal of the Sprinkles program is to address the question of the problem of anemia amongst Indigenous kids. But one of the great successes already of the program is the establishment of the network of Indigenous mothers right across Northern Australia, from North Queensland through the Territory into Western Australia. You now have a network of Aboriginal women that are themselves involved in thinking through issues of nutrition for the kids. Involved in a program, and they are as excited about trying to find the results of this program as anybody else, perhaps more so because it's their kids.